Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2019 with Burton Albion. We are midway through January and we are back down to earth with a bump. We have already dropped down to 7th place in the table. We haven't won a game in the last 5 or 6 matches. Something has happened and it's our defence have just stopped being able to defend. So after we conceded 3 goals against West Bromwich Albion, we invited Hull to the Pirelli Stadium and conceded 3 more goals. It was a 3-3 draw. We were somewhat lucky. We were actually 3-0 up at half-time. Michael Obafemi with 2 goals. Mark Gui also scoring a goal. Then into the second half, Jackson Irvine almost immediately after kickoff. Adama Diakabe after 61 minutes. And then in the 90th minute, Jordi de Widges scores the equalising goal for Hull. They were probably the better side in the second half. In the first half, we were easily the better side, and I don't know how we managed to throw it away. And then for the 3rd successive game, we concede 3 goals, this time against Ipswich. It was 1-0 at half-time, Sully Kaikai with the goal in the injury time of the first half. Then, deep into the second half, Tristan Nydam and Andre Dazelle with the 2 goals for Ipswich, making it 3-0. They were the better side. This was a game where we didn't actually do anything. With all the possession we had, we did very, very little. Into the new year, and we had an FA Cup 3rd round match against Shrewsbury, which we drew. We were 1-0 down after 71 minutes. Carlton Morris with the goal for Shrewsbury, and it took all the way until the 89th minute for Marvin Sordell to finally score a goal, his first goal in a very long time, to set up a replay against Shrewsbury. Now, this was going to be one of the matches that I was going to show you. I'm kind of annoyed I didn't. I was going to do it and then realised it's probably a bit too close after the last episode. It was a 2-2 draw with my former team Nottingham Forest. Sean Longstaff and Callum Gribben with the goals for us. Matty Cash and Karim Ansarifard with the goals for Nottingham Forest. And you can tell it's Christmas time because the referee went nuts. McCarthy, Obafemi, Sparrow, Vokins, Longstaff, Allen. Vokins gets a 2nd yellow card and Regan Charles Cook all booked for us. That is 8 yellow cards for us, if you include the 2 for Vokins, and then Nottingham Forest as well, also picking up 4 yellow cards and a straight red as well for Michael Hefele. Something has changed, because this is not the only time we've picked up this many bookings. Against Blackburn Rovers, we conceded 3 more goals. We were 2-0 down. Ben Brereton scores 2 goals, both in the 60th minute. I don't know how he did it, but he scored basically straight after the restart and scored almost immediately. Chris Long then scores after 64 minutes. Jamie Allen scores for us after 68 minutes. But look at that. Sparrow gets himself sent off after 41 minutes. Obafemi, Clark and Aldred also picking up yellow cards. We're picking up yellow cards like it's fun to do it. Back in the FA Cup against Shrewsbury in the replay, we finally managed to get past the League 2 side. It was a 4-1 victory. Faustino Angerin, finally, he's been really irritating. He has not been playing very well at all. Angerin finally gets on the score sheet after a very, very long time out with 2 goals. Paul Morris, the youngster playing at centre-back, scores as well. Taylor Richards starts a rare game and scores a goal as well. And Callum Gribben gets himself sent off in this one. Carlton Morris with the only goal for Shrewsbury. It was late on in the game. We can't keep a clean sheet though. And then finally up against Crystal Palace, it was a 3-3 draw. Another match where we've conceded 3 goals. We were 1-0 down after just 9 minutes. Danilo Cataldi with the goal for Palace. Then it was 2-0. Ifran Kavechi, sure, him, after 29. Then Mamadou Sakho after 34. Half-time comes around. We are 3-0 down. I actually subbed Jason McCarthy off on 38 minutes because he was playing so badly. And then in the second half, something happened. Regan Charles Cook scores, Jake Vokin scores, and Cameron Humphreys, the substitute for Jason McCarthy, with an injury, scores in the 90th minute to salvage a point against Crystal Palace. But it does mean the league table now looks like this. We are out of the playoffs. We have dropped down from 2nd place all the way down to 7th. We are now, 6 points off of the top of the table. It's still close up there. It is still very close up there. But the 5 games, I think, or 6 games potentially in a row where we have failed to win has cost us dearly. Although realistically, this is probably where we should be. I think this was kind of my target for the start of the season, was sort of 7th to 13th kind of area. So maybe I shouldn't be so disappointed. There's also been a little bit of transfer business. It's all out. No one's actually joined the club at the moment. Carl McFadzean, the 34-year-old English central defender, has signed for Crawley for about £19,000. Both Tyler Walker and Jack Kearsey have signed for Port Vale on loan until the end of the season. It would be nice for Tyler Walker to actually score a goal, because in 2 years, I don't think he has. Youngster Tom Hewlett has gone on loan to Sutton until the end of the season. And Jamal Hector Ingram has signed for Mansfield until the end of the season. I've also transfer listed him because I've realised he's actually not going to get any better. Today then, we are going to have 2 matches. It is going to be Sheffield Wednesday, and it is going to be Manchester United in the FA Cup 4th round. Because, you know what, I thought, we spend a lot of time focusing on the league. I think we're fine in the league, aren't we? So let's actually have a Manchester United game. I will probably do the Sunderland game as well, but the Sunderland game I'll just kind of show you the highlights of what's happened, because the transfer window will obviously close. I'm hoping to sign 1 or 2 players, but financially we don't have a lot of money, so the only way we're going to do it is if we sell some players, really. Just before we get to the Sheffield Wednesday game, we have done some transfer business. We have signed Jacob MADDOX, formerly of Chelsea. He's been there since 2012. He's now 23 years old. He's got some potential. I was hoping he'd be better than what he is. He's come in on a free transfer. I think he just randomly got released someone in December by Chelsea. So Jacob MADDOX has joined. Probably not going to see much of him. But a player that you might see quite a lot of is 18-year-old English goalkeeper Scott RAYNER. He has signed on loan from Chelsea for up until the end of the season for 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. He looks ridiculously good. Now, my only concern with him is he's a loan signing. We can only play 5 at a time. So if he's going to get games, obviously Simon Moore is probably going to get annoyed anyway. And secondly, someone else is going to have to miss out. I'm thinking it might be Angerin, because he is one of our better players, but he just does not perform when we need him to. Top of the table, Sheffield Wednesday then. This is actually a lot bigger game than I thought it would be. We should, if we win, we should move up to maybe 6th. No, we will move up to 6th because West Brom aren't playing today. I don't know why I was looking for Norwich. I'm so obsessed with Norwich after all these episodes. They're not really, well, they are still important. There's 4 teams, actually, who could and should be top of the table. Sheffield Wednesday, Ipswich, Norwich and Palace all within 1 point of each other. Preston not too far off either. West Brom also not really that far away. The starting lineup we are going to go for today then. In goal is going to be Simon Moore, Jason McCarthy, Harry Sousa, Mark Gooey and Damien McCrory are going to be the back 4 today. Jamie Allen will be playing alongside Lee Brooks, who is the youngster who is training up to be that Segundo Volante role. So he is actually going to get a rare start today because Sean Longstaff is quite tired. So is Jamie Allen, and we don't have a lot of depth in midfield. A lot of my players have been complaining about the lack of depth in midfield, and I've kind of ignored it because I assumed we had more people. We don't. Daniel Batty is injured. Jamie Allen and Sean Longstaff are our 2 other central midfielders. That's it. We've got 3 of them. Joe Sparrow, Faustino Angerin and Scott Fraser will be just behind Michael Obafemi. I haven't... Actually, what am I doing? Let's put Scott RAYNER on the bench because we've only got 4 players, 4 loanies starting. I've dropped Jake Vokins because he's very tired, so he's not going to be playing today. Taylor Richards is always the one to miss out because, unfortunately, he's just not quite as good as Angerin. This may well be an episode where we lose both games, and I would not be surprised. Top of the table, Sheffield Wednesday, obviously, is not going to be an easy game, and then Manchester United also is not going to be an easy game. First highlight of the game is possibly going Sheffield Wednesday's way. After just 3 minutes, Penny crosses in. Simon Moore easily claims the ball, and that wasn't really a highlight, was it? 15 minutes on the clock. Gooey makes a great tackle. Brooks, ball upfield. Angerin's running onto that. Is he going to make it 1-0? He hits it straight at the keeper, and then somehow we don't manage to get the ball. We should have been 1-0 up. Moore with a free kick plays it to Harry Sousa, forward to Jason McCarthy, inside to Joe Sparrow, long ball upfield to try and find Michael Obafemi, goes for goal, it deflects off of one of their players and cleared. McCrory's throw to Angerin, gets tackled by Coyle but Allen wins the ball. Gooey's going to play it all the way across to Harry Sousa, upfield to Joe Sparrow. He's got plenty of players forward. McCarthy is one of them on the right-hand side. Crosses in. Fraser's there at the back. And a very nonchalant header from Scott Fraser has made it 1-0. 27.5 minutes on the clock. Hopefully, we don't concede 3 goals. It would be nice to play a game where we don't concede 3 goals. Throw on for Sheffield Wednesday. Freeman to Coyle. Back to Freeman, the Southampton youngster. I say Southampton youngster. They might have signed him. Valzania. Back to Kieran Freeman on the right. Matondo. Freeman again getting loads of the ball. Matondo again. How have we not cleared that? And Luca Valzania with the goal. Our clearance was kicked into the back of McCrory's head, wasn't it? Highlight straight after the goal. McCrory loses the ball. We're going to go 2-1 down, aren't we? Valzania again gets tackled by Gui, who does win the ball. Fraser, he gets tackled. Why are we not paying attention? Great slide tackle, though. Obafemi's not going to get the ball. Sparrow heads forward. Andrin forward over the halfway line to Obafemi. McCrory, who is playing absolutely awfully at the moment. Obafemi gets tackled because why is our lone striker all the way there? This has to be a goal. There are 16 Sheffield Wednesday players in the penalty area, and we are 2-1 down because of an absolute calamity of mistakes. Half time then, and we are being demolished. Absolutely demolished. Aggressively, I expect a much better performance. If we go tactics, so McCarthy's the only player who's playing okay. Fraser's playing alright. Obafemi, get off the pitch. I've had enough of you already. Marvin Sordell, it is your time to shine, my friend. Last time we had to make an aggressive team talk at half time, we did score 3 in the second half. So maybe the same thing will happen, or Sheffield Wednesday might score. McCrory has taken a knock, which might actually be somewhat of a blessing in disguise, because I wanted an excuse to take him off. Ball outfield to Penny on the left. Reach back to Penny for Sheffield Wednesday. Plays inside to Reach once again. Back to Penny. These two passing it between them. Gui can get it clear. Bannan though. Barry Bannan forward to Penny. Tackled. Fraser now. Allen steals the ball away from him. Lee Brooks, we haven't seen much of him. What an awful deflection. And somehow Marvin Sordell almost managed to get in on that. It's going to be a corner. Corner to come in from Allen. Where is it going to go? It's gone deep. It's not a very good corner at all. And the ball is cleared. McCrory is going to come off for Trevor Clark. I don't know. Why did I bother playing McCrory? He's just had an absolute shocking game. I'm not going to do anything else. There's not a lot else I can really get on with. Into the final 10 minutes then, and it is looking likely that Sheffield Wednesday are going to pick up the victory here, and it's going to be another defeat on the road for Burton Albion. We are starting to crumble here. Gui with the ball. We've got 4 minutes to play. Gui can play it upfield. It's not the best clearance, though, from the Ivorian. Sutar heads forward. Alan McCarthy. Jason McCarthy plays it all the way across to a Sheffield Wednesday player. And when have we ever had any players there? Matundo in, McCarthy headers forward. Joe Sparrow, misplaced pass. Our passing in this match has been shocking. It has been so bad. Andrin is doing slide tackles like it's fun to do. Long ball upfield finds Marvin Sordell. He needs to hold up the play and wait for some others to get in the box. Fiver in there now. Scott Fraser is there. How have we not scored? How have we not scored and equalised? That could have been it. 2 minutes of injury time to play, so this could be a highlight. Clark plays it forward to Marvin Sordell. He does get the ball. He needs support in the area. Plays it all the way back to Trevor Clark. You were in our penalty area, or their penalty area, and you play it across the halfway line. Sheffield Wednesday are going to go down to 10 men. It's going to be way too late for us to actually do anything. Show some passion, lads. We've got a minute and a half. And I don't think we're going to see any of it. McCarthy tries to cross it in as a throw-on. So we've got 10 seconds. We're on the 94 now. McCarthy's just going to throw it and the full-time whistle is surely going to go. It's another throw-on. Andrew with the ball back to McCarthy. Are we going to get anything from this? Hopefully the sending off has added an extra minute or two onto the clock. Clark on the left-hand side. Cross it in, Clark! Why are you trying to take it round him? We definitely deserved to lose that game. What was our pass accuracy? Because that was shocking. You're going to get an aggressive team talk, everybody. This is unacceptable. I don't know what I said about moving into the playoff spot. That really wasn't what I was caring about. You just played really badly. So another defeat then means that we do stay in 7th place in the table. We could potentially drop down to 9th if Brentford and Southampton win their games. Southampton will need to win by 2 or more goals in order to do it, which I assume they're playing on Wednesday. They are not. They're playing on... When are they play? They're playing Wednesday next week. Okay, sure. Before we get to the Manchester United game, former Manchester United midfielder Callum Gribben has had his suspension extended. So, Callum Gribben has been suspended now 4 games in a row. He also got suspended for the whole game as well. He has... I don't know what's happened with him. He's just suddenly turned into a terrible footballer, and it's really irritating. He is still in charge. Jose Mourinho is still the Manchester United manager. They are on decent form, despite the fact they've only won 2 of their last 5, and they've not actually won any of them in their last 3. We are on inconsistent form, even though we've won a game more recently than Manchester United. Anyway, doesn't matter. We are at Old Trafford. There is going to be 75,635 people here. Hopefully, we just get a nice little performance. Maybe a 0-0 draw. I'm actually weirdly hoping for a 0-0 draw. The starting lineup we are going to go for then. Scott Rayner will be the goalkeeper making his debut today. Jason McCarthy, Suter, Gooey and Vokins will be the back 4. Allen and Longstaff will be the 2 central midfielders, with Joe Sparrow, Faustino Andren, Taylor Richards and Michael Obafemi leading the line. I thought, you know what? Let's give Josh Rayner a start in the FA Cups. There is no rules of how many loan players you can play, so we could play Josh Okocha if we really wanted to as well. We probably shouldn't. Well, it's nice to see that Manchester United are taking this seriously. The only real kind of silly one they've got in there is Henderson in goal. De Gea is still on the bench, so they've still got Lukaku. Pogba's playing. Dybala's playing as a central midfielder. That's odd. I mean, I'm sure he'll be fine. To be honest, he'll probably be playing well as a goalkeeper or a centre-back for us, so I'm not really sure why I'm complaining. Before we kick off, we are going to have to go and be a little bit more cautious because it is Manchester United after all. This is the type of game that we might actually somehow win. Because we always seem to do well against teams that we shouldn't do well against and then lose to Sunderland and Crawley and Shrewsbury and teams like that. Dybala with a ball for Manchester United. Pogba, edge of the area, goes for goal, and it is a good save from the youngster Rayner. It is going to be a corner after 8.5 minutes. The corner for Emil Forsberg to take. It's a good corner. It's gone all the way through. Jonathan Tah is going to get there first. Okay, nothing is going to happen from the corner. We've survived the first 10 minutes. We've survived the first 25 minutes. We've only had one shot, and it wasn't even a highlight or on target, but it's fine. We are still in this game at the moment. This 0-0 could actually be on the cards. Forsberg with a corner for United. Pogba is there, and it is over the bar. It was actually saved from the goalkeeper, so Forsberg is probably going to be taking their corner again. Yes, he is. It is deep to Lukaku, wins the header, and Rayner makes a save, and Sutar can clear it. Dybala is going to chase it down, but I don't think anything is going to come from this highlight. Half time, and we are holding Manchester United to a 0-0 draw at Old Trafford. I'm quite happy with that. One thing I am going to do, Michael Obafemi is going to come off for Marvin Sordell. Obafemi, I feel like, isn't playing very well. We have had 3 shots, and they probably were all him, and they were probably all very bad. Allen, ball upfield. Sordell, for some reason, runs the other way. Lindelof in the middle to Jonathan Tah. Long ball upfield to Guedes on the right-hand side. He's got Vokins for company. Crosses in. Lukaku is there, and Lukaku has hit the bar. It comes down, hits the back of Rayner, and goes in. We are 1-0 down to Manchester United after just 1 minute and 30 seconds of the second half. It was kind of expected, though, wasn't it? Just after the 50-minute mark, Guedes in the area for United, crosses in. Lukaku's effort is inches wide of the post. It could have been 2-0. Gooey has dropped down to a 6.0 rating. Okay, Lindelof. Lukaku in the area, loads of space. He's hit the bar, and it has gone off for a goal kick. It is all Manchester United. I think I need to bring Gooey off. Rayner is on a 7.6 on his debut. Right, we have just over 20 minutes to play. Gooey is coming off for Cameron Humphreys. The former Manchester City man is going to come on. Taylor Richards also is going to come off for Regan Charles-Cook. I'm not going to do much else. If we can nick a goal, fine. Otherwise, I don't think anything's going to happen here, is it? Final 5 minutes, we've yet to have a single shot on target, which means we've yet to have a single highlight. We are into injury time. McCarthy's throw can't find Sparrow, and now Manchester United can break and potentially make it 2-0. Guedes running in towards the goal, goes for goal, tries to dink it over Simon Rayner, but instead it goes over the bar. 30 seconds to play. Dalot to Lukaku, back to Diogo Dalot. Crosses in, Rayner claims the ball, and that is probably going to be the end of the game. So, only a 1-0 defeat against Manchester United. Hopefully, we pick up a large sum of money for this result as well. I say for the result, for just appearing at Old Trafford, hopefully is what we're going to get. McCarthy, with the ball, tries to find Sordell. We haven't said Sordell's name all game. I don't think we said any of the attacking players' names all game. We did get battered. Scott Rayner getting a 7.7 rating on his debut. I think he might need to play the next match. So before we end today's episode, we're actually going to go through to the end of the transfer window. So we're also going to have the Sunderland game. I'm not going to show you the game. I'm just going to come back to it after the match and kind of just tell you exactly what happened. We are not quite at the Sunderland game yet, but a bit of transfer news. Paul Morris, the player that we signed from Chelsea on a free transfer, he's gone on loan to Bury for the end of the season. Hopefully he's going to get some first-team football there, because I think he kind of needs it right now. Another couple of days have passed, and my brain has suddenly engaged, and we've recalled Ben Fox. He's been out on loan at Luton for the season. We need some depth in midfield. Ben Fox is a 23-year-old midfielder who's actually not terrible at football. So, Ben Fox has returned. He's probably not going to be playing too much, but he's going to be quite useful. Hopefully, there is another backup midfielder coming in as well. No more transfer business to talk about at the moment, so we have Sunderland. I'm not going to bother showing you the highlights or anything like that. I'm just going to go straight into the result. I'm going to obviously play the game. I will see you the other side of this fade to black, and hopefully we've got 3 points. We do manage to beat Sunderland, but it was a bit touch and go. We were 1-0 down after 12 minutes. Josh Madger with the goal for Sunderland. Jake Vokins then scores after 32 minutes. Scott Fraser scores the winning goal 1 minute into the second half. It's actually from the first highlight in the second half. We probably should have played a bit better. The goalkeeper, Scott Rayner, I assume, getting a 6.3 rating, is probably taken claim for the Josh Madger goal. Michael Obafemi and Marvin Sordell need to start scoring goals, because neither of them have scored in a very long time. Sordell hasn't scored a league goal since at least October. He scored 1 goal so far in the last, 20 games, which is awful. And Michael Obafemi hasn't scored a goal this calendar year. He was doing superbly well until the Ipswich game. And then since that day, he's been terrible, and I don't know why. We have a couple more days of the transfer window open, so we are going to go forward until the end of the transfer window. Hopefully some business will take place. But as I've mentioned before, financially, we're not in a particularly great place. It is transfer deadline day, and we have made 1 signing so far. Ben Stevenson, formerly of Blackpool, I believe, looking at it, he must start the game at Wolves. He has signed for £55,000, 2-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. He's surplus to requirements, according to our coaches. He's only cost £50,000. He can play both of the roles that I need him to be able to play. I'm not too fussed that he's not very good, because he is a backup. He is only going to be playing if we really need somebody else to play. A bit of outgoing news as well. Lee Brooks, formerly of Manchester City, has signed for Celtic. He has gone for, how much money is it? £950,000, actually potentially raises to £1.5 million. We also have a 50% sell-on in there for Lee Brooks, so if he does alright at Celtic and gets moved on to somebody else for a fair whack of money, we will be getting 50% of it, which will help our bank account very, very nicely. And that is the end of the transfer window. Yeah. This bit of news worries me. Player wage expenditure in the EFL Championship. Little old Burton, bottom of the pile on £110,000 a week. Yeah. 22nd place, have double that. We're not earning a lot of money. I really hope that next season, if we're still in the league, which I feel like we probably will be at this point next season, this money should be a lot higher. I'm sort of talking about 5-6 million, which means our wage budget should hopefully be a bit higher as well. And then maybe we can start trying to get in some decent foreign imports as well, because the £8,000 a week isn't a particularly high stumbling block for us now. £8,000 a week is a reasonable salary for a first team player. So if we can find the right foreigner, £8,000 a week, I'll be happy to spend. We have now got until the end of the season, which is, how many games is that going to be? There is 30 games played so far, 23 teams in total. I can't really do the maths for that. 16 more games left to play of the season. We can still get automatic promotion. Realistically, I'm thinking probably playoffs is what's going to happen. Next episode, we are probably going to go to someone in March. It might be Southampton, Brentford. It might be Norwich, Southampton again. Although I think we've already done that, haven't we? We did that there. It probably won't be Norwich, Southampton. It might be Brentford, Millwall. So yeah, we're going to go a fair old distance into the future, and then the final month of April is going to be some actual real crunch time football where hopefully we're going to have something to play for. If after the Brentford Millwall games we're sat mid-table with nothing to play for, you probably won't see anything until the final 2 games of the season. Thank you very much for watching this very long episode of Football Manager 2019 with Burton Albion. If you did enjoy, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.